Okay, so this is going to be sort of a product review slash how-to and just some general overall knowledge here. What this is reflective striping. So these are useful for doing freight cars or tankers, for cars that don't otherwise come with these, or maybe you just want to put them onto a piece of rolling stock that you think they would look cool on. All the modern freight cars have these now. They're called FRA, reflective stripes. So there is a company that does these, and they're called Smokebox Graphics, and I'll be sure to put a link in the description. This is their website there. The really cool thing is that they do even more than just locomotive and freight car stripes. You can choose from either or, and there's different combinations that you can get. And it's road specific, so you can get the yellow stripes for some of the roads that run those, or you can get Norfolk Southern stripes that might just be solid white. So that's pretty cool. And the best thing is that they're extremely affordable. I got this pack, which it says is good enough to do 40 freight cars. I think that's being maybe a little bit over optimistic, but I think maybe you could do at least probably 10 to 20 cars out of one of these sheets. I've done about 4 or 5 cars so far, and I've used a little bit off of here. The nice thing about these stripes is that they actually do have some reflective properties in it. It's kind of hard to see, and I'm not sure if I can get it in the right light to where you can actually see it. Doesn't really come out on camera, but in certain light they actually are reflective. So I mean, it's a genuine effect. It's not just some yellow decal, it is actually reflective. So I think it actually looks better than a lot of the models that try to kind of attempt to do this, and really all it is just yellow paint. It's not really the real thing. With these, you can pretty much stick them on there. This was the first car I did, and I just looked up on a quick Google image on where they went on there. And that's kind of what you can do with a lot of them. You don't have to find the exact road number. These are not on a lot of freight cars very neatly. They're just kind of slapped on there. So it's not like on every single freight car that they're exactly level. So if you happen to not make them exactly level, it's actually pretty realistic that way. So, I mean, I try to be fairly neat with them, but you don't want to just be too haphazard there. But if it's a little bit off, it's pretty realistic. So the nice thing is that you can get this whole sheet for about $4. And then they have different packs here that you can go through. None of them are very expensive, but I think for the price it's an excellent product. And I'll show you one of the tankers I did here. And this car did not have the reflective striping on it out of the box. This is just the Walthers car. And I think it looks excellent with those on there. Now with these stripes, they're very easy to apply. I typically like to use just kind of the end of a pocket knife, and you can just kind of pry them off of here. They're self-adhesive. You can clear or dull coat over them if you want to seal them in. The adhesive is strong enough that they'll stay on there on their own, so you don't have to necessarily dull coat or clear coat over them. If you do, I mean, you can certainly weather over top of them also. It's a fairly unique adhesive. It's not the kind of thing that you probably want to reapply after peeling them off. Once you kind of peel them off, they don't have as much adhesive to them, and they don't seem to stick as well. So it's kind of a one-shot deal. You want to make sure of where you want to place it first before actually setting them down. But if you mess up, I mean, there's a lot of spares on here, and it's pretty low on cost. Now, one other technique that I wanted to share also, and this is the first tanker that I did with it. You'll notice along the top line here, it's probably not perfectly even. So what you can do to make sure that it is perfectly even is just a small piece of masking tape, and you can kind of just go level across here, and then you can just match up the tops of these. So I'm probably just going to leave this one as is, but with future cars, if I want to make sure that these are all uniformly level and not too high up or down on here, I'm just going to use a small piece of masking tape, and that's enough that it's not going to mess up the car. It's not going to peel off decals, as long as it's a car that's either a factory made car or one that has dull coat already on it. I wouldn't do that to a car that doesn't have some sort of dull coat on it, because then you can peel up your decals and paint and other things. But it's perfectly safe for just a factory Walters car or anything that already has a coating on it. But that's pretty much it for this video, but I just wanted to pass along this information because I think it's a really nice detail that really sets off any of your freight cars, especially for those of you that do modern era stuff. It's just a great way to make your rolling stock look, perfect, I think, and accurate. But that's all for this video, but I'll post the link in the description so that you can go and purchase these on your own. But I have nothing but praise for them. I think it's an excellent product.